Hey YouTube, so this video is going to be 8 to 10 reasons why your locks are dry. Bear with me, I'm trying to focus here without looking at my little viewfinder or whatever. But I even wrote it down, guys, so that way I stay focused. So these are reasons why your locks may be dry, and I'll try to provide little suggestions on what you can do a little bit different, okay? So the number one reason why your locks are dry is gonna be dehydration. If you are dehydrated, your hair is not gonna stay moisturized. It won't. Your body is designed to self-preserve, and the fact of the matter is, if you're not putting enough water in your body, it's gonna pull it from the places in your body that it does not deem absolutely necessary for you to live. So, aka your body's telling you, well, you're just gonna be bald since you can't drink no water. So, and you'll notice it though. It's really noticeable. Like for me, I noticed it the other week. I mean, my skin was flaky, my hair was extra dry no matter how much water I added, and I'm still working on trying to fix that. So, really take this one to heart, because if you don't fix this, none of these other things that you change are gonna work. So, all right, number two is going to be, what products are you using to moisturize your hair? Make sure it's the right product. And I use those air quotes because the right product is going to vary with each person, but you just want to make sure you're using an oil or whatever moisturizer that is compatible with your hair. Like for example, for me, some people swear by extra virgin olive oil. I've just discovered it just does not work for me. It doesn't. It just doesn't provide me the lasting moisture, the shine, and everything that I was looking for. So I don't use it anymore. And that's important. Once you find that something doesn't work for you, just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean that you have to continually use it. So that's number two. So find the products that are compatible with your hair. Now, if you find the products that work, but you're still having issues, you may want to check your method. That's really important, because the fact is, oils are not moisturizers. They are not moisturizers. They allow your hair to stay moisturized for longer if they are able to lock in some sort of moisture that's already in your hair, but they are not moisturizers. They would be considered sealants. They seal in moisture into your hair. You've heard the whole phrase, oil and water don't mix. Oil will just kind of sit on top of water. That's essentially what it's gonna do with your hair. So if you're applying oil to dry hair and you're not doing like a hot oil treatment or something, if you're only applying a moisturizer and deciding not to use any type of oil, or the moisturizer doesn't have, like, it's not oil based, you know what I'm saying, something like that, then you're basically just doing half the process, and it's just not going to work. Because either if you're applying the moisturizer with no oil, you just put it on there and just letting it just evaporate into the air, or you're applying the oil with no moisture underneath, so all it's doing is putting a layer all over your head that's not allowing any more water to go in or anything else to go out, but there was nothing in there to begin with. So just check that out and see if changing that up will make a difference for you, okay? Now, if you tried those and still you're dealing with dryness, check your frequency. Are you moisturizing your hair enough? That's really important. I found that for me, I have to, sorry, I'm writing this down because I thought of another one. I have to moisturize my hair a little bit more often. I just have to. That's just something that I found that my hair needs. There's no like set amount you have to do. So for me, maybe 2 to 3 days. For you, shoot, whatever you need to do, every day, every 4 days, every 2 days, whatever works for you. You gotta experiment and figure out what works best, right? And kind of number 5, what goes hand in hand with the frequency is also the amount of moisturizer you're using. Are you using enough? For me, I wasn't using enough. I mean, I'm that type of person. My hair is so thick, especially without a retwist. I could walk in the rain and the inside of my hair would probably still be dry. Like, I have to go hard. I have to literally use probably like half of my spray bottle to even dampen my hair, let alone talk about sealing some moisture in. Like, no. And also a little bit more oil as well to make sure I'm hitting all of the spots. Like, I'm bad about just when all this up under here didn't even, So you have to really make sure that you are using enough and moisturizing enough, if that makes sense, okay? So if you're doing all of that and still nothing, maybe check out your deep moisturizing routine or your just regimen in general, right? So normally most of us, some people just choose not to use any deep moisturizing techniques, but most of us are going to need to, just want my camera cut off. Most of us are going to need to do some kind of deep moisturizing at least once a month. For me, I use hot oil treatments. Some people use conditioning. You have to find what works for you, or the steam treatments, whatever. For me, I use hot oil treatments usually, ideally twice a month. I try to do them every time I wash, but sometimes I slack. But every time I do, my hair pays the price. So just make sure that you're using your deep moisturizing enough, because the light moisturizing every couple of days is more maintenance. But if there's nothing there to begin with, you're not really doing anything but just barely helping your hair hang on, if that makes sense, okay? So if all of that is still good, then we should go to, I don't even know what number I'm at, I'm sorry guys. Okay, the next one, I think it's 7 maybe, is gonna be cotton. Whether it be your pillowcase, your clothing, your coats, your hats, whatever it is. If you are not using a satin bonnet, pillowcase, scarf, lining inside of your hats, you are basically like moisturizing the glorious crown upon your head and then putting something on it that's gonna suck it right out. Some of you might be like, oh, I have a pillowcase, I'm good, but do you have satin sheets? Because if you're anything like me, I end up with the cover, the sheet, and everything else on top of my head, like in a cocoon. And if you're doing that, then literally everything in your bed is sucking out the moisture out of your hair. So you may moisturize and be great all day, or moisturize right before bed, and your hair's gonna be like stupid dry in the morning, and you don't know why. That could be a reason why, okay? So I guess number 8 maybe is going to be artificial heat. Maybe you are using too much artificial heat, and with Locs, we tend to forget that it's still hair, and you can get heat damage from Locs as well, or on your Locs as well. Are you using the dryer all the time, the blow dryer all the time, and that kind of thing? Be careful with that. And even if it's not damaged, you might be just drying your hair out a little bit too much. That might be the case. It may be more important for you to use if you're gonna use a blow dryer, maybe a concentrator nozzle, just to make sure, like when you're drying your roots after a retwist or something, that you're only hitting the roots. You don't want to dry out the length of your hair too much, but just be careful, or maybe use low heat. And the last reason I have is going to be your hair is color treated. I swear guys, like, don't feel like I'm picking at you. All of these apply to me in some form or fashion, and I'm trying to work on them. But if your hair is color treated, everything else that I mentioned, you have to go pretty much hard on, like times 10. Like every other thing, you have to be hydrated, you have to use the correct method, the products, moisturize even more than you did before, go hard on the amount of water or aloe vera juice or rose water or whatever moisturizer you're using, in oil. You cannot sleep on anything cotton. You have to deep moisturize, even more, like you cannot afford to miss it. You can't. And do not become best friends with artificial heat. When your hair is color treated, essentially it's damaging your hair. Like they always say, oh, it's not, damaging. No, like the fact of the matter is, if you're using any kind of permanent dye on your hair, it's weakening your hair. Your hair may not follow, like I'm not bald, even though I kind of bleached it or whatever, but at the same time, I have to take extra care of my hair. That's super, super important. So, just keep that in mind when you color your hair. Just be prepared. Like if you're one of those people who likes to half-ass their hair, and I'm not even talking about retwist, I'm just talking about like moisturizing and washing and, taking care of it, color might not be for you, unless you're one of those that goes to the salon all the time and keeps it up that way. But if you are not willing to do the extra mile to take care of your hair, do not color your hair. It will fall out, or it's going to be so damaged and thin and just be terrible. Like it's not going to be worth it for you. So that's really important. But other than that, I don't want this video to be longer than 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop it here. Those are actually like 9 reasons I think that your hair might be dry. So in the comment section below, let me know which one of these applies to you. How do you feel about the list? And any other things that you think could be changed to help people with dry locks. And if you have not yet, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm really on a roll. I'm trying to post more videos now. And any questions? Whatever you need, rate the video. I'm trying to say, all right guys, much love, bye.